Well, it takes drive and determination to start up a business, but doing that after having a life-altering experience takes a different kind of grit. After spending time in prison, Bobby Yoakum didn't think he would find himself in this position. Here's his story.
I ended up getting into the drug scene and I got in a ton of trouble. Ended up in prison with a 6-year prison sentence.
A server working his way up at Little India, Bobby Yoakum found himself going down the wrong path.
The people who cared about me, I pushed them away and surrounded myself with people who really didn't care about anything but drugs.
But Bobby didn't push everyone away.
I was actually kind of heartbroken because of the fact that we had such a great bond and he'd actually worked with us for such a long time. And I kind of feared in my mind that I hope he wasn't actually falling into, the wrong society, the wrong kind of people and so forth.
When I left in 2013, things just kind of spiraled out of control.
That time in prison gave him the opportunity to reflect on the person he says he doesn't recognize anymore.
I did about 19 months in there. When I was sitting where I was sitting in the darkest place of my life, I made a decision that I wanted something different. When I got to the halfway house, I immediately found a job at a Jiffy Lube, which is, I can't believe they hired me. I was going to take the first job that was offered to me. I didn't even know what a dipstick was in a car. He said, "Have you ever changed oil?" I said, I know the thingy that, you put in there." He's like, "The thingy?" And, but I made that decision to work hard and just stay focused.
At the same time when I left to come to work, he'd actually be walking down Leedsdale and he was going into work at Jiffy Lube. I just had this feeling, I don't know, that I gotta go say hi to him or just see how he was doing because I hadn't seen him for 5 years. I stopped into Jiffy Lube and I didn't even know if he was there or not that day, and I just went in and I walked in and I said,
"Is Bobby here?"
And he pops his head up and says, "Simmerin?"
I guess he had, been keeping tabs on me. He knew what I was going through and asked, if we can meet for coffee. I told him, yeah, but you'd have to give me a ride back to the halfway house.
Sat down with him one day and just kind of talked to him, and I asked him if he would want to come back to Little India. And
he asked me if I would come back to manage the Downing location. I kind of toyed with it and thought, well, this is everything, but I was doing good at Jiffy Lube, and I thought, is this going to be what I want to do? And of course it was.
We talked about his struggle and so forth, and that's when Bobby came back and joined us.
2 years later, Bobby's opportunity has grown even more.
It was around March of 2021. I had a day off and Simran called me and he said, "Bobby, I want to talk to you about something." He said, "There's this opportunity, spaces coming available for a coffee shop."
I wanted to actually give Bobby the opportunity to be my partner in that business.
That business, Lil Coffea, now sitting proudly on Grant and Speer.
As we move forward, my focus with the coffee shop and with the restaurants is I was given a second chance that a lot of people aren't offered in life.
People like Zach.
How are you? Good, good. My family wasn't really, they were very controlling, very much like you have to do this at a certain time and then this has to be done a certain way. And I realized my inner self wasn't thriving.
We've recently partnered with Urban Peak Youth Homeless Shelter. And we're going to do a bunch of different things with them, but we started by having their employment specialists send us kids who are looking for jobs.
I think it's great. It's like we're very much like a family over here. We understand people's past and where they come from. It just makes me more assured that I'm well taken care of. Bobby came from a dark background and so did I, and that just makes us get along way more. It makes us click the moment we talk to each other, and it's just great.
If we can actually have a management program set up where we train this youth, so they can see some light at the end of the tunnel, just like, Bobby. If we can actually bring them, train them, and actually have them be partners in our business with us, then we've actually done something.
This is somewhere I always dreamed to be. I always wanted a place in life and a place in society where, I was something.
There's so many people like Bobby that are actually in situations like that. Who would actually take the privilege or time to give a person like that an opportunity?
One of the deals that Simran made with me was, you know, you're gonna own this, but you can't leave Little India.
We are a Little India family. We've been around for 25 years now, and there's some key people, you know, just like Bobby. If we can do something in order to grow and help them grow with us, that's where I want to take this.
And this is, you know, the start of something good. You know, just like when Simran started One Little India. You know, we're gonna move forward with this and, you know, just get more intertwined with our community.
And one day after our interview with Bobby, Colorado did pass a law to automatically seal nonviolent criminal records. You can check out Lil Coffea on 6th and Speer and keep an eye out for their new location.